Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
Hey, Tom.
Good morning, Bob. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm excited.
You're excited?
Yeah, we've got something we're doing for a group of people later today, and we've got a big planning meeting this morning. We got a lot of Renegade Success Network stuff happening today, so that always excites me.
I like it. I like it as well. Excellent. Well, good morning, everyone. We hope that you all are as excited about the day as Bob clearly is. And hopefully this will be a great way to start your day. So welcome to today's Antidote, our daily broadcast and podcast, where we have a discussion around a topic. This week's topic is success. And today we're going to talk about achieving it. So we look
Your
forward.
Dog's getting an early start.
Yeah, I know.
Usually it's not until about 8:30.
I know. That dog gets like separation anxiety, I think. Once I'm down here and I'm in my office and my wife heads out to work, the dog just jumps off the couch and now is struggling. So you may hear that in the background, or you may have noticed that over the course of
the last 2 years.
Correct. So we hope that as we talk about success and achieving it, that if you have thoughts or ideas, you share it in the comments, especially if you are watching this on Facebook, LinkedIn Live, YouTube, or Twitter. You can catch all of that.
Or Spotify. You can now watch it on Spotify.
You can actually do both, listen and watch. I guess you can listen and watch on all those other ones as well. If you only want to choose
an audio only stream or an audio and video stream.
Correct. If you can only want to listen, you can do that just find it on your favorite podcast platform, and we will be there.
Stitcher, Google, Apple.
Don't talk about Apple. I'm upset with Apple at the moment.
I thought you might be, but don't let them know that.
I know. They're dragging their feet on our app, and I'm frustrated by that.
And really, it's not like they have a whole bunch of people trying to get apps approved.
Correct.
How many people can there really be right now? Maybe 2 or 3 total in the whole world.
Well, the worst part about it is we just seem to be going back and forth with silly little things that I'm like, well, they're like, well, we can't find your in-app purchase. I'm like, well, hello, it's right there. Why can't you find it?
I know we purchased it. I saw the receipt.
That's right. No, not that. No. Anyhow, at the end of our show today, we will offer our one thing, our antidote for today, that hopefully will be beneficial for you, maybe today, and maybe some other time in the near future when you are struggling with something around success and wondering why you're achieving it. And I think we picked this topic because I think this is a discussion a lot of people have, or thoughts they have at this time of year. And so people may be thinking about it. So you can also share these episodes with others who maybe are struggling to better understand their success and how they may be actually a whole lot closer to it than they thought. You all right?
I've got a cough that's been around for like a month and it will not go away.
Bob just did for those of you on the podcast. Bob just did this like head shake thing that I was like,
it was quite the cough. I've got like a really deep dry cough that, you know, I should have been a coal miner with my cough, and it comes and goes. Hasn't been in the morning until the last few days, but I've been tested for COVID. It's not COVID.
That's good.
You know, there are other things that it could be, like, you know, a cold, a flu, allergies.
I mean, there are other illnesses today?
Yes, let's not go down that road. That's a road that's a detour we don't need.
Yes, indeed. All right, everyone. Well, thanks so much for being a part of this as we shared. Please feel free to participate today if you'd like and share it with others. We know that there are people out there looking for solutions to what they're trying to come up with. So the first thing we do every day, though, is we talk about our celebrations.
Yes.
So, Bob, what are you celebrating today?
I am celebrating the wisdom of people. Last night I was out at a bar and with a friend, and there was a person sitting next to me, and this person was relaxed and enjoying herself. She was older. She was in her 80s, and her husband died last year. And she went to this bar every week for dinner I'm sick of cooking all week. And so we were talking with her. She was very nice, but she had probably 1 or 2 more drinks than normal.
Fair.
And my friend suggested that maybe she needed a ride home. And she balked at it initially. And then it worked out that he drove her car and I followed him. And then we drove back. And it was a really smart decision by my friend. Like one of the more wise things I've ever seen, because this woman struggled to get into her house. Just, it caught up with her. And I think she enjoyed the evening. It was great that she got to have fun. I think she needed that, but fortunately there were people around her to help her get to where she needed to go.
Nice. You did your nice duty for the day. Good for you.
All I did was follow. The other person took care of the heavy lifting.
Fair enough.
As it were, he didn't lift her up. He didn't carry her, just so we're clear.
Okay. Good to know.
Well, what about you? What are you celebrating?
So I'm celebrating that one of the things that I've been doing lately is getting up a little bit earlier and just sort of settling for a little bit. Not settling in a term of just like relaxing, I guess is a better phrase to put it. And as it happens, our couch, when you sit on our couch, there is a window out to the back, which is behind our house is a big farmer's field. And
this would be the couch that your dog sits on with you, right?
Well, not at the moment, and that's why he's barking.
But normally that would be where the dog stays.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. And if he was looking out at the sunrise, as I was, he wouldn't be barking. He would be much calmer. Anyhow, one of the things I've noticed is the beauty of watching the sun come up. And I don't think for some reason I was thinking about it this morning, is that, I've enjoyed it over the past couple of weeks that I've been doing this. And today it was like, this is something really I should celebrate today on our show, because it is, and it's not always the beautiful sun coming up. Sometimes it's just the light appearing from, as the day starts to change from night to day. And I don't know, it was very calming in the moment. And so that's what I'm going to celebrate, is one, that I have taken the time to slow down a little bit and enjoy that. And two, that we have the opportunity to enjoy that every day. So that's my celebration.
I'm a big sunrise fan. Have been for years.
Yeah, I used to be a not fan. Not that I didn't love it and like it. I just felt if I'm getting up when the sun is coming up, it's way too early.
Well, it's easy now when the sun comes up at what, 7:25, 7:30?
Yeah. Yes, it's a little bit later. So
although today's a longer day than yesterday, right? Because yesterday being the winter solstice, which I'm pretty sure it was yesterday, right, Tom?
Correct.
Okay. So today's the first of the longer days.
Yeah.
So celebrate that extra minute of daylight accordingly, people.
Yes. Bob has gotten 3 days worth out of my one mistake, thinking Monday was the winter solstice.
The one mistake you've made in 2 years of this.
Well,
I make one mistake every 5 minutes. So I'm just trying to.
You said that, not me. All right. So now that we've got our celebrations shared, what is the nation celebrating today?
So, Tom, I know you probably know this because it's pretty well publicized, and I'm sorry to go over ground that's so, everyone knows it, but it is National Date Nut Bread Day. That's right, a baker's delight, believed to have originated around Iraq. Dates have been a staple food in the Middle East and the Indus Valley for thousands of years. They've been cultivated since ancient times, from Mesopotamia to prehistoric Egypt, possibly as early as 4000 BC. And in 1765, the Spaniards introduced dates into Mexico and California. Were it not for all that, we wouldn't have date night, right? See what I did there?
You remember that you don't have to say, see what I did there, because that kind of makes people feel like, yeah, I got it.
All right, I'll work on that. I'll work on that. So you didn't see what I did there.
Actually, I did. I had it.
So celebrate National Date Nut Day as you see fit.
Well, isn't it Date Nut Bread?
Yes, I'm sorry, Date Nut Bread Day.
Yeah, dates have never really been kind of like prunes. I look at them like,
oh,
I want nothing to do with either one of those.
Have you noticed how many of these days are food related?
Yes, except for yesterday.
Except for yesterday, but
that might have been one of my not favorite, most interesting days. Humbug Day was something I would have, if you would have, like, of all the things you would guess that this could be, like date nut bread
day
is at least okay. It's a thing. It's out there. It's whatever. But the fact that somebody was like, "Hey, I'm going to write in and suggest a few days before Christmas."
But keep in mind, you don't just write in. You have to prove that you've celebrated this with press clippings or a video or something. You can't just, oh, it's National Date Nut Bread Day. You've got to put some effort into it. So someone had some serious humbug going somewhere along the way. But Tom, we've got to get to success because this is important stuff. People have been talking, listening to us all week about success. And today's the big day where we're going to tell them how to achieve it. We've got the answer. It's easier than they realize. So go ahead. Tell them the answer.
You let in like we have the answer. That was not likely the lead in I was planning to give. So have at it, sir.
So here's my answer. Whatever you achieve this minute, this hour, this day, this week, this month, this year, this decade, that's success. Anything you achieve. If you are trying to accomplish something and you take one step forward, that's success to me. And the more I look at that, and we do this every day, you and I do this every day through our celebrations.
Yes.
How many sunrises have you seen in your life? Hundreds, maybe thousands.
Well, 54 times 300. Well, 350.
You haven't seen them all. But today you got up, you saw it with new eyes, and you celebrated it because on some level, that's a success. Because it's going to change your day in some profound way. You might think back to it when you're having a hard moment. You might compare it to sunset. You might use it as an image on an email. Who knows what you might do with it? But I think my answer in achieving it is you're actually moving towards it every moment.
Wow.
How was that?
Do we need to go on, or are we?
I was going to say that was pretty passionate, pretty good. I'm a little fired up this morning.
I wasn't exactly sure you were going to be that clear when you wanted to pass it off so quickly. So,
I in the moment I delivered it.
Well, it's interesting because actually it was great. I love that. And I think that's a lot of what we talk about. And the fact you tied it to celebrations, I think is beneficial because we so often don't think we have success, right? If you walked around to a lot of people and asked them if they had success today, they would be like, nah, probably not. Most days. Some people would see the value of the things that they achieved throughout the day as a success. And I think, unfortunately, we don't spend enough time thinking about that, which, I think is one, why we always talk about celebrations, why we did our summer of celebrations, and why we find such value in celebrating the things that we do. Because I think we spend way more time thinking we are not having success.
And success fuels success. This person I was with last night told me that we're trying to reach a certain number with something. And we're one short of a number that means a lot for me. And rather than go, oh, we're one short, it's like we are right there at the edge. And that was success to get to that number that's one short of what the goal was is a success. It wasn't there. It's double where we were a couple of weeks, couple months ago. So looking at it that way, like, wow, we're really close. We can get over the goal line is different than, I had this goal of $1 million for this year and I hit 992,000. I'm a failure because I missed it by 8,000. That doesn't, well, the pandemic came in and you make all those excuses. Okay, that's fine. At least you tried. If you didn't try to reach the million, I can be pretty sure if you didn't try, you probably aren't going to get there.
Right. If you spend all your time worrying about not achieving it, you're never going to take the final steps or whatever additional steps you need to get there. And I think
you're closer to it, right? With each step, just like I've said before, the autopilot, 95% of the time it's correcting. That means only 5% of the time it's going the right direction. I use that in my head all the time. I'm like, I can't possibly. Autopilot's really easy if you think about it. You got to go from point A to point B. You draw a straight line and you go, except for the wind and the turbulence and all those things playing a role. If that's an airplane and it's just going from point A to B and we know what point B is, how in the heck am I supposed to get from point A to point B when I really don't know exactly where B is? I have a vision for it in my head, but that doesn't mean it's going to be it, right?
Sure. And I think what's interesting is I think we oftentimes, and this is maybe I was just thinking about this, the downfall of goals is that goals are really the big picture of where we want to be and what most people would define as success. So that if I achieve my goals, I've had success. And as we talked about before, a lot of times those goals are things that the results are things we can't control. And so if we don't achieve our goal, we feel like we didn't have success. And in reality, we've had a lot of successes to get anywhere close to our goal. And I think, that becomes one of the challenges of whether it's goals or resolutions or any of those intentions that we set is they're so big that it's very difficult sometimes to achieve it. And again, we get frustrated and stuck. Why do so many people stop trying to achieve their goals by February, January? Because they feel like they aren't having success because they want to go from here to here in a very short amount of time. I mean, I was thinking about that last night, not this exact thing, but I was thinking last night, I was walking out of the gym and knowing that I am nowhere near where I was when the pandemic hit in terms of things that I could do. Physical fitness, correct.
Not that you're, you couldn't play Santa Claus very easily at the mall. You're not like that.
Correct. And I'm still not where I
you're not an elf either, right?
Correct. And at the same time, along the way, there are a lot of successes. I mean, the last 2 days workouts have been hard, and I've been able to get through them at a level that I had hoped I would. And so while I'm not at exactly where I want to be, that was a success. That, when you're running inclines and you're able to keep running the whole time, even though you may not get as far as you want or be going as fast as you want or would like to be or have in the past, those little successes are significant. And so often they are forgotten because I could easily have spent the whole night being like, yeah, why am I not where I was?
It used to be so easy.
Correct. Yeah, well,
I do that when I run sometimes. I'm like,
it's never easy. I don't ever find it true. People always say, oh, that was a fun workout. And I'm like, I'm not. I enjoyed it. Fun might not be the description that I would use for it. But I think
the word work is in it for a reason.
Correct. And I think that happens with our businesses so often, is our desire to get to where we want, what we think is the ultimate goal, which is usually large and significant, as they should be, because they are, things that are meaningful, and we want to achieve those things. Yet so often we don't always get exactly there and see that as not success, rather than saying, look at all that we have done. So even somebody they commit to, I'm going to make 10 sales calls every day this year. Okay. And so they do it for 3 weeks. And then they're like, I don't know. I don't feel like it's working. Other things have come up. My time has changed. And they look at that as that word that I don't like to use, failure.
Or they go set the goal 10, and the first day they only make 1, and it goes horribly wrong.
Sure.
And they abandon the whole thing as a failure.
And at least they did the 1, right? Or at least they did the 3 weeks. And you at least showed that you can start to do that. And things change. Again, every time and I think that's one of the other hard things about goals, is we set them up, situations and scenarios change. And so sometimes you set those goals and there's no way you could possibly ever achieve them based on things that have changed. And rather than giving up, celebrate the success that you did what you could to try to achieve it. You reached a point where things have changed. You had enough foresight to pivot to something else, even though you had initially set up this goal as, well, I'm going to do this. All right, well, I didn't get there. And I realize now that might not have been, because I have more information, more knowledge, more perspective, that now I need to shift. And I think that in and of itself is another success, to realize that, well, I could just keep doing this because that was my goal and that's what I set out to do. And I'm not going to have success if I don't achieve that goal, that intention, the resolution that I had. And so I think all of that goes back to your point of every little step along the way is achieving success.
Yeah. And if you when I think about it that way, it makes me feel better about what I have to do next, because it's not the big goal. It's an intermediate achievement towards that goal. And I think of it as building blocks. You can't build, if you've got those little wood blocks when you were a little kid, you can't build a really tall building until you do the foundation, then you do the next level and the next level. That's how everything in life is. You can't get around it. You can't just take the 48 blocks, put them in your hands in a big bundle and drop them, and they create a perfect tower. Doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. You don't have to keep muting, Tom. I like the dog in the background.
Okay. Well.
So what's your one thing today?
It's hard because I think you right out of the box smacked us in the face with a really good one thing.
I'll tell you what. Tell me what it is, because I was so busy saying something that I really believed in that I don't know if I could crystallize it to a sentence. So please compress it for me.
I think that when, what you shared was that as we talk about success and achieving success, is that we achieve success every day. That in every day there are things that we do that because we take the step. Again, if we go back to what we define and what we celebrate is taking the step. It doesn't have to be that you achieve the end goal. That you took the step, achieved that step. That's a success. Because without that step, without building the foundation, you can't go on to the next step. And which ultimately means you would never get to the larger goal that you had. And so taking time, I think, each day, which is why we encourage people to celebrate, is helpful in allowing us to see the successes that we have and to celebrate achieving those small little successes, whatever they may be. We had an issue yesterday that we weren't able to download the show from this platform that we use because we've done 476 episodes and there was a little memory backup. And even though it wasn't a big
backup, a limitation,
even though it would not be one of those things I set as my goal is, I'm going to clear out some old recordings so that we are easily able to download it and put it in the podcast. And yet I did it. And now that makes things easier today. So if I had been like, I'm not going to, that's not that important, that would have impacted where we were today and what we were able to do going forward. And I think that taking the time every day to celebrate those little things allow us typically, even if we don't maybe realize it, to take the next step forward the next.
I like it. I like it. Tom, do you want to tell people real quickly while I find the link about our workshops that are coming up? Because they're starting to fill up and they're going to be great. So walk us through it if you would.
You don't want to give your one thing?
I'm going to go with your one thing because you took what I've said and made sense of it. And I agree completely.
Okay. All right, everyone. So we shortchanged you. We only gave you one thing today, not.
No, I amplified your one thing that was my one thing, which I gave early.
Okay, fair enough. So if you are struggling to think about your daily activities as success, as achieving the success, or things that you wish for. So often people spend time, I wish I could do this, I want to do this, and yet don't figure out how to take the next step to actually achieve the success that they desire. We have put together a workshop for you. It's coming up in the next couple of weeks. The dates it's called From I Wish to Success, the Renegade Way. And it will be available as a live event. You're going to want to bring paper and pen and be ready to go because we're not going to talk at you. We are going to have a conversation with you and allow you to work through what it is that you need to accomplish. We're not going to say, here's the only way to do it, which is one of the reasons that if you look at the title, success is in all caps. And it's not a definition. It's not like we're going to 6 times.
Oh, I didn't make them all caps in what I wrote. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. It's that way on the webpage about it.
Okay.
That, we're not going to tell you you can 6 times your revenue, or you can add 100 new clients, or you can lose 100 pounds, because you have to determine what success is for you. We don't want to tell you what success looks like. So we hope that you will join us on Monday, December 27th at noon Eastern time, or Tuesday, January 4th at 7 p.m. And right now we are toying with a Thursday at noon. Is that correct? I can't remember that. Because we are
the 6th, possibly.
No, it would have to be the 7th then, because I have something on the 6th. That's what I couldn't remember. Anyhow,
okay.
Because of signups, we've been looking at a third day and making sure that we can accommodate the people who need it, because we know that this is a time when a lot of people take time off to share and celebrate and enjoy what's going on in the holiday season. So go to the website. Bob's put it in the chat. It'll also be in the podcast notes. You can sign up. Space is limited because this is going to be a small, intimate conversation, because we want to be able to really help you. Sometimes those seminars of 100 or 75 people are awesome. And how much individual attention are you getting? You're able to probably hear someone speak at you for some concepts that maybe you can try to figure out. Doesn't always apply to your situation. So we hope that you will act now, because seats are going fast. Sign up.
No PowerPoint, right, Tom?
There will be no PowerPoint. As I said, this is a conversation.
I think that's one thing we have to mention, because that to me is really important, because everyone's going to be like, well, I want the PowerPoints. Nah, it doesn't exist. We're not PowerPoint people on these things.
And the other thing about PowerPoints means you're going to have your camera on. You're not going to want to hide and have, there's PowerPoint up so nobody can see me and I'm just going to sit over here and do email. If that's what you're thinking, it's not worth your time. Go do your email or whatever you're focused on. If you're ready to make a change in 2022 to actually achieve the success you desire, you're going to want to attend this event, and you're going to want to be there ready to try to figure it out, to figure out how to take the next step, and how to make sure that you are constantly reviewing where you're at, so that you don't get to that point where you're just doing what you said you were going to do because you think that's going to help you achieve your goal, when in reality you've gained new information and you should be pivoting.
And Tom, if I can, sure. This process has worked. This process that we're using took me from, I really want a place at the beach to call my own, to looking at places at the beach and thinking through exactly what's going to happen. Like even talking to a bank about it, and it was the I wish to I want and what's the work necessary to achieve it. It does work. So I know at this time of year, everyone's got a workshop. Everyone's trying to tell you that you can change your whole entire life. I get it. This is something where if you can devote 70, 75 minutes to this, you can actually achieve something that, whether it's building your list for a week or 20 years or
Absolutely.
longer.
Well, how many times do our wishes stay in our heads?
Forever.
Forever. Right. And honestly, I think that, and I hope it's okay to say this, that I have heard you wish for a place at the beach for at least 3 years.
Yes.
And up until about 2 weeks ago, I think you really thought it was a wish dream.
Yeah.
And going kind of through this process, I think you have realized that you're further ahead than you might have thought. So I would imagine that for those of you out there who have wishes, big wishes and dreams, things that you want to do, you're probably a lot closer. You just haven't figured it out. So join us on either December 27th, January 4th, or January 7th for what will be an excellent workshop on how to go from I wish to success the renegade way. So
Nice.
We hope that we will see you then. If you have other things you want to share about this podcast, please feel free to share it in the comments, or you can go to our Ring of Renegades Facebook group, where we have a growing community of people who are trying to help one another take their next step along their own unique pathway to success. And the beauty of that group is I think people are willing to share some of the things that are going on, which is why it's a private group, and you have to ask to join. And just tell us why you're a renegade, and you can become a part of this community and start to have more conversations like, what does success mean to you? How do you, we put a poll yesterday about, do you feel success or do you see success? And which is a more powerful way for you to better understand if you've had success? So with that, we hope that we will see you inside the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. We expect that we will see you at one of our workshop dates. And we hope you'll join us tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern time, for our next edition of today's Antidote. Have a great day, everyone.
Hey, embrace the renegading you and go make some, date nut bread today, because it's National Date Nut Bread Day. You don't want to miss out.
I'm not sure I'm going to participate in this one.
Nah, me either. Not
Which
going
would
to
be 2 days in a row. I really didn't do the Bah Humbug Day either.
Yeah. Oh, well. I'll try to find a better one tomorrow.
It's not up to you. It's the National
That's
Registry. If they would just put the Renegade Day on there, we'd have some really good things to
That's it.
share and celebrate.
Oh, well.
All right, everyone. Have a great day. We'll see you soon. Thanks for listening to today's Antidote, powered by the Renegade Success Network. The Renegade Success Network helps you confidently create your own unique pathway to success. To learn more about the Renegade Success Network and how you can take your next step, follow us on Twitter, connect on LinkedIn, or join the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. For full details on how you can join our community, go to renegadesuccessnetwork.com. Embrace the renegade in you.